Hello, Bree. This is I again, Richard Warlock. This is another part of Down the Rabbit Hole. So they're similar to my dark side of spirituality ones, but not about bad practice and stuff like that. Now, I was going to do my episode about past life, well, my past life, which kind of triggered this whole series. However, much like when I started my darker side of spirituality videos and I kind of came up to a bit of a crescendo of a three-part, there's kind of more bits that need adding first, unfortunately. Fortunately or unfortunately, it depends on your viewpoint. So I just wanted to do a kind of episode, a video, if you want to call it, on the difference between light workers and starseeds as far as I'm concerned, and also the difference in starseeds. So light worker is a term that gets bounded around a lot. Sometimes people call them earth angels and stuff like that. Now, this is just my view and what I kind of understand of things. A light worker tends to be more from Earth's field, if you want to call it that. Not always, but tends to be more so. They tend to be healers and readers. To be honest with you, but they can kind of filter into other areas of life, such as, artists, nurses, doctors, etc. Now, for me, what's kind of triggered this video is because somebody called me a light worker a couple of weeks back, and it's something that's always sat uncomfortably with me. Number one, because I believe that I'm a starseed, and number two, linking into my duality video, I don't just work with the light. I work with the dark as well. So calling me a light worker always sat uncomfortably, a little bit uncomfortably. And again, now that I'm starting to see things in a slightly different way in regard to the whole duality concept and not serving the light or the dark, I'm definitely not a light worker. I will use the light, and on occasion I will use the dark. Not for bad, but, for the greater good. Light workers for me tend to be a bit more... Well, they use the light, you know what I mean? They're more love and light, if you want to call it that. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as we realise that light work isn't for well, you can't destroy energy anyway, but light work isn't for completely taking over the dark. Again, for me, it's about finding that balance between the two, so we can coexist. Now, starseeds are believed, if there's a new concept for you, that starseeds are people who have a soul from either a different planet, a different dimension, a different area, really, if you want to call it that, a different vibration. Now, starseeds, generally, they come from all over the place, okay, and for me, you get good starseeds and you get bad starseeds, so don't think just if you're a starseed that you're a good person. I'm going to be doing a video on the Anunnaki later on, okay, once I've kind of accustomed people a bit more to this down the rabbit hole stuff. A lot of the Anunnaki, as they're deemed, again, not all of them are bad, but most of them are. You get bad starseeds, ones who are basically more on the dark side of things. You get starseeds who are more on the light side of things. And then, again, for me, you get starseeds who are duality. Now, starseeds, generally speaking, tend to have had quite tough fucking lives. And when I'm reading for somebody and they tell me some of this stuff, I go, you're 100% starseed. Light workers can have tough lives, don't get me wrong, but it's normally just enough to kind of trigger them into empathy and wanting to help people. Starseeds tend to have been to fucking hell and back, like real bad stuff. Being abandoned, being abused, not just once, repeatedly, and like this ongoing repeated cycle of being alone, constantly having to fight and battle and stuff like that. And the idea of it is to basically toughen us the fuck up, because starseeds have a different role to light workers. You do get some starseeds who are light workers, and when I say that, I mean people who have gone through all the real tough stuff, but they only work within the light, okay? So starseeds have a slightly more complex role. It can take a while to activate that and realise who you are and what your potential is and stuff like that. But ultimately, once you accept that role, your life changes forever, really. Now, for me, there seems to be... the thing with you can generally tell the difference between a light worker and a starseed, in my opinion, because light workers tend to be a little bit more in their ego, and it's not a deliberate thing. So, for example, I know a lot of light workers who claim to be starseeds, and they're not, because they're not. They're light workers. But when you say this to them, and when you kind of broach this subject, they get quite defensive. Of course I'm a starseed. Why wouldn't I be? Well, because you're not, because you're a light worker. Yeah, because, you know, it's not a hierarchy thing. The way I see it is, generally speaking as well, starseeds tend to have older souls. They tend to have more kind of ancient knowledge, if you want to call it that. And again, it's not a competitive thing. And something that often triggers the fuck out of people within the community that I find is, obviously I'm 42 now, and I'd class myself as one of the younger ones. However, side note, the guys that I'm bringing on board for my readings, generally speaking, for my psychic nights and stuff like that, they're younger than me. They're in the 20s, and I want to give them a break to get into the kind of psychic night events and stuff like that, because it's just the same fucking shit over and over and over again. You know, go and have a look at the programs for some of these big events, and it's the same people doing the same thing. They might mix up their talks every now and again between this and that, but it's the same people, okay? It's an elite group who are just doing the same shit over and over again. Now, I struggled to get my foot in the door. It took me a while, okay? But I eventually did, and now I've been kicked out now. Point being is, I want to give these younger guys a chance and a go, because ultimately they're the future. They're the future. You know, I'd like to think that I'm kind of in my prime at the moment with the way I do things and what I speak about and stuff like that. It's the older guard that are the problem, and not so much just in regard to age, but people who've been on the scene a while and things have got stagnant and, yeah, elitist basically. But anyway, that's side point. Yeah, point being is that I'll often talk to people within the community who have been doing this a lot longer than me, and I'll raise these slightly different views, and they get all the backup. You know, well, I've been doing this longer than you. You know, one thing that drives me fucking nuts is when you get people who go, yes, but you're not, you know, when you get to where I am, you'll understand. Now, there is a lot of hidden knowledge in this world, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, you know, gatekeeping and thinking that you know more than other people is just fucking bullshit. Because for me, especially if you are a starseed, you're going to have greater ancient knowledge. Now, as I said in my previous video, sometimes stuff just comes to me. I don't know where it's come from. I don't know where it fits in until a later date. But for me, that is ancient knowledge coming through. And if people are going to get huffety and be like, well, you know, I'm in my 60s or whatever, and I've been doing this forever, blah, 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 I know more than you. Well, you know, if that's your attitude, then clearly you're not as old a soul, you know. Yeah, point being is, for me, there is a massive difference between a light worker and a starseed. Not all starseeds are good. Some of them are bad. And they don't want change. They tend to be more of the kind of negative Anunnaki descendants, in my opinion. So I will come to a video for that. Yeah. Just wanted to kind of reiterate that and kind of explain that slightly, because for some people it'd be a brand new concept. For others, because I often get, you know, I thought everybody was a light worker. No, we're not. You know what I mean? We're not at all. It's like I say, it's always sat uncomfortably being called a light worker, because I don't just purely work in the light. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of go through that, because again, when I do my main video, there might be something else that pops up in the meantime, so just be wary. Yeah, before I go into my main video, I just wanted to kind of clear up some of the terms and concepts. So there you go, difference between star workers and light seeds and Starseeds and light workers. I'll get it fucking right in a moment, but I'm going to go because we're only at 10 minutes, so ta-ta.